We'll just.
Welcome to the Weasel. Welcome to the Weasel. Whip out your dicks and shove them in your ass. Welcome to the Weasel with Mican and Jonah.
Good morning, good evening, good Stevening to you.
Hey man, good evening to you as well. I feel like that's what you would use to talk to your friend Steve. Our
I
friend
do,
Steve.
yes.
He's
Yes, our friend Steve loves the a good Stevening for sure.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, how's Stevie doing by the way?
Mm. Steve's good. He had a birthday party a couple of weeks back. It was a lot of fun. He's doing well. I think he's doing better. We're trying to organize going to trivia, which is a bit difficult because we all have to get up really early throughout the week, and most trivia nights are on like a Thursday or a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like terrible days to do it, but I mean, it's good for businesses. It's their slow days, but yeah, just it's hard to go for the whole thing and feel like we're the shit the next day. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I told you this, but we also started doing a trivia night here. Did I tell you about that? We've been doing it for like a month now.
oh
And
yeah,
it is on Wednesdays.
mm-hmm.
It's like Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Wednesdays are also my day that I have to be downtown for work,
Oh right,
but it's also my day when I'm supposed um, to listen back to the podcast and make a nice, cute little fucking post. Which more goes into those things than you guys think. And did we miss it this week? I think so.
yeah.
I think neither one of us did it, and that's because typically my Wednesdays get filled up, dude. Like this past Wednesday, soon as work was done, straight to a work dinner. Soon as that was done, straight to a work drinking affair. And by the time that was done, I was already an hour and a half late to trivia. So, showed up late, answered the
Mm.
last question. I helped. And we got second place.
Wow. Wait, you only helped on the last question? That's how
Yeah,
late
I
you were.
got there. Yeah. I got there for like the last two questions. One was
Wow.
what was the poison called that killed Joffrey in Game of Thrones?
Oh, no idea.
It gave us a few different. It was like a multiple choice, and I've watched it, and I even got that shit wrong.
Mm.
It was the Strangler, by the way, was I guess the name of the poison.
The Strangler, that's what it was called.
Yeah, whatever. Got it wrong. Um,
Doesn't sound like a name of a poison though. It sounds like I don't know, the dude that lives under the bridge next to Macca's.
the Strangler.
The Strangler. What are you strangling today, Strangler? Oh, some double quarter pounders with cheese. I don't know.
Man, strangling is such a brutal way to kill another person.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Like
it's not a
if
slow
that
process, dude.
like you have to really be passionate about your craft as a murderer to choose strangulation
Mm.
as the way to go about it. And like when like I guess you can use a few like you can like use tools for strangulation. That's not the kind of hardcore guys that I have respect for. I have respect for the fucking two-handed going just two-handed at you, hands on your throat, squeeze
Mm.
watching the life come out of you.
Yeah.
That's the kind of strangulation I have respect for. Because if you can do that to somebody, you're a pretty fucked up kind of person.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that's a yeah, because it's so personal. Fuck off. It's so personal, isn't it? It's like you're like dead set looking them in their eyes as the life is flittering away from their face, out of their mouth, out of their very souls leaving their body. You're watching it happen, and you're forcing them to watch you watch it happen as you do it. Right? It's so like Like, what a mental fuck, you know, for a victim. It's like, yeah, you get shot.
Well,
oh, fuck, why did that happen? Now I'm dead, you know, whatever, the pain, whatever. But, like, getting strangled, you're sitting there, you question, like, if you could fight, and if they're a good strangler, you're not going to win, you know what I mean? Like, you might be able to get out of it, but, man, once you get to that certain point, you just realize, nah, this is it. I'm not going to make out of this, you know?
Bro.
Then what do you do?
Bro, how embarrassing would it be to get to the gulag? Like, you're fucking in the gulag, and then you drop down, and everybody else is like, oh, they got Jonah. What you in for? I'm like, yeah, this guy strangled me to death. They're like, oh, like from behind, like, so he snuck up behind you, got you in like a headlock, took you out. No. Front facing strangle. Yeah. Barehanded strangle. They're like, oh shit, man, that's fucked up. Like, we all just got shot, but
oh man, do you think, is that how you imagine the afterlife, is a gulag?
I mean, if there's gonna be, you know, I figured that there's all versions. If you're gonna believe in heaven and hell, might as well, and believe in everything in between.
Yeah, gulag.
And somewhere in between is a gulag.
Well, there's this concept of purgatory, and I guess you could akin the gulag to that. The gulag to that is like the space in between your judgment to heaven and hell. Some people believe that there is no hell; it's just purgatory, and then you go through and you experience, like, I guess, like, all your karma comes back and affects you in that space until you've paid it all back. However you can do that, I don't know. Maybe you can't. I'm not sure. That seems like a complicated conversation, but.
So in theory, if like you were like mostly a good dude, like maybe every once in a while you, I don't know, you like you stole a pack of gum, or you like strangled a man to death, front facing, and you got to purgatory, like, how long you in for comparatively to someone that just had like their entire life was like destruction and devastation?
Well, maybe it's not about a matter of how long you're in there. Maybe it's more a matter of the intensity of the punishment and or, you know, judgment during that period of time, right? Because I guess I kind of imagine it like this timeless space where maybe time is moving at the same pace as like here on Earth, but your perception of it is completely different, right? And, you know, like when you're in a dream, right, and you experience like that shift in that shift in time where it feels like it's just forever. You're in this dream, and then you wake up, you're like, oh fuck, and then it sticks. One of those dreams that sticks with you throughout the day or whatever. But like, I guess I'm kind of imagining purgatory or the gulag in this sense being like, say you're like just been a real cunt of a dude your entire life,
sure,
right?
Not hard to imagine. Go on.
But also you had fucking you had like your organ donor card, right? So like you donated your organs after you died and actually saved a couple people's lives, right? Now, I imagine you're going to be in the space of purgatory the same amount of time, right? But your perception of that will be more so. Maybe your perception of being in there will be longer, but the punishment won't be as severe, right? Instead of getting your toes cut off and then force fed them to you and then you have to shit them out your dick, right? Maybe it's just getting your toes cut off and them being shoved up your ass. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's something like that. Or maybe because he was a cunt, he has to get his toes cut off, force fed to him, and then shit him out his dick. But he only has to do that for what he perceives as being 2,000 years as opposed to 20,000 years because he had his donor card and donated his organs.
I see what you're saying there. I mean, at some point, if that's just your day, like you get used to it. Not like what's the difference between 2,000 and 3,000 at that point? You're just another day shitting out your own toes.
Well, I guess the way I'm looking at it is if I ran purgatory, right, and I had the ability to do all these things, I probably also have the ability to make you relive the same feeling of it happening the first time every time. You know what I mean? Because you're in like a spiritual space, right? You're not bound by the rules of the physical world anymore. It's now your pain receptors aren't reliant on chemicals getting released by your brain when the pain actually, like, when the damage happens. It's now just the pain is directly on your spiritual self, yeah? So, like, now I'm torturing your very soul or very essence of whatever it is that's left of you. Your body can be in pain, and then you're right, eventually it's just is like, yeah, well, this is day like 3,926 and a half of shitting my own toes out my dick. But, you know, my dick hole's the size of toes now. Not so in my purgatory. Your dick hole shrinks every time. Perfect healing every single time. I reckon.
I don't know, dude. I reckon if I was a cunt my entire life, but I had my organ donor card and I got dropped into your purgatory, I mean, I think at some level, dude, I'd try to overthrow you, but like subtly, like I'll just be just little comments to the torturers every now and then, you know, be like, hey, fucking, I mean, get a load of this guy, am I right? Thinks he's all that. And then just over time, over all the days of shitting toes out my dick, just before you know it, I develop a bit of a kinship with your employees, and I, plant the seed, and it grows into a furious garden of revolution.
Well, that's beautiful. I love that shit, you know? I really love a bit of revolution. I know you know this, too. I love planting seeds of revolution in the minds of people that are willing and able and just had enough up to fucking here with whatever the situation is. And you know what? You're not wrong, dude. I'm sure there's going to be some worker gripes and complaints from the torturers themselves, dude, as is in every industry. There's demands that have to be met to keep the opinions of the workers and the morale high enough to have them continue doing these stressful, probably draining, like emotionally draining jobs. I mean, you can imagine, like, having to witness a fucking dude actually acting, like, being the one to force feed a dude his own toes that you've just cut off his own feet. And then, watching him as he shits them out of his own dick, right? Like, eventually it's going to either make you just dead to the world or dead to purgatory, or you're just going to fucking hate your life, right? And nobody wants to go home to their partner after a long day of work and just be a 1,000-yard stare. Just can't stop thinking about that dude shitting out his own toes, you know? What do you talk to your partner about at that, you know? I mean, you imagine two gay demons that are loving each other to fucking high hell, right? And, but every once in a while, that one just kind of stares off just into space, and Brad just doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, how do you approach that conversation? I mean, your partner's job, there's no job progression in sight. It's just dude's cutting off toes, watching him as he force feeds him and fucking shits him out his own dick every day for the rest of eternity until what? The end? Until the company liquidates? Is there some kind of like, system in place to help these demons, once the judgment day finally does come and all these people's souls eventually do go to heaven for the rest of eternity? Like, then what? What happens to the demons? Well, that's something that I, as the runner of purgatory, am just going to have to solve before that time comes. I'm working on it. It's difficult. It's very difficult to watch markets highs and lows. It's very complicated, but right now there's a good influx of souls. There's pretty good influx of, I mean, listen, in most jobs, your hands are tied in some things, like, safety concerns and stuff like that. But not purgatory, man. They just give us free reign. Well, I give them free reign to do whatever torture they deem fit, and one of them, this is really beautiful, is that you might plant a seed of dissent among the workers, right?
Sure.
But I've already gathered the brightest bunch of demon minds that I can. They're already thinking, it's 4D chess, man. You might think you're planting a seed, and then you might spend thousands of years of your purgatorial existence plotting and getting closer and closer to like, yeah, man, I'm fucking feeling, every mind that I change is making this toes shit out my dick a little bit nicer. And then you get to the end, right? And you're like, yep, now's the time to rise. And they all rise, and they all get behind you, and they all they follow you all the way up to my office, all the way up to the top. And they knock on the door, you knock on the door, and you come in. I'm like, all right, yeah, come on in. And you've got all these workers, they're like, oh, behind you, like, ah, right? And then it turns out, after all this time, that was one night in your mind. All that work and effort that you put into planting the seeds, all the joy and the ecstaticness you felt that got you through shitting your own toes out your front of your dick, right, for thousands of years, it was one dream. And actually, none of these demons are behind you. They've not joined you up, right? And then that just keeps happening over and over and over again. The crushing realization that you accomplished zero, and also you still have thousands more years of actually shitting your toes out of your dick to go, until finally, at one point, we break your mind.
Yeah,
but we're fair though. We do have a gym, and we've got coffee machines. All right, so you do get some kind of reprieve. You know what I mean? Like, we're not assholes in purgatory. Yeah.
No. I mean, I think for me, dude, it's about the journey, not the destination, right? So it's the planning of the revolution that really gives me purpose and a reason to keep going. So if anything, you've just extended my golden years.
Excellent.
And made me stronger.
I hope you enjoy your stay, dude. I hope you enjoy your stay in purgatory. That's really my hope.
I'm getting stronger and better and smarter and faster, dude. My dick hole is getting more accustomed to my toes getting shit out of it. And then what are you doing, dude? You're fucking pulling together elitist think tanks of the most powerful demons while we all look on. We see what's happening. He took fucking Tim, but not me. Tim's a fucking idiot. And then all of a sudden, like just really what it is for me is the joy of watching you try to get back morale on your side via pizza parties. Just mandatory fun pizza parties. Like, that's what your fucking think tank comes up with. And we ate the pizza. We do eat it. We do eat it. We show up and we go, dang, you're the best. You're the best, boss. Until one day, all those cycles of reliving that revolution, it does come to fruition. I'm in your fucking office, and I front face strangle you to death.
Oh,
I watched I got it. There ain't no other way. Ain't no other way to go about it at that point, dude.
Well, hey, dude, this is purgatory, and this is your personalized torture. So, I mean, whatever you're gonna do to make yourself feel better, that's fine. But just so you know, the whole thing was a dream. The whole thing was a dream. And do you think for a fucking second that if I had a think tank that come up with pizza parties to keep the morale high, that they would still be on that think tank, dude? No. Those dickheads straight into the fucking line to get tortured themselves, because that's fucking a crock of shit, bro.
Wow. We see how you turn on your own.
Yeah.
How
dude,
about
I'm talking about fucking big pay packets, dude. I'm talking big job progression, right? I'm talking about the elite of the elite demons are going to go into my own personal army, right? And not only are we just going to create an army of demons, but we're also going to create an army of souls like yours. And we're going to put you guys, after you've accomplished thousands and thousands of cycles of revolution and bringing the voice to the people and stuff, we're going to take your soul, we're going to put it into a box, and that box is going to power our tanks, our heavenly tanks, as we go and destroy heaven and take it over and finally become the rulers of all heavens, hells, earths, reality, dude.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, respect. You're leading your own revolution, and you're using my energy to do it.
100%, dude. That's why we get people like you, dude. You can't, man.
Yeah,
you can't.
Can't be mad at that, dude. You have an excellent recruiting department. I got to give it up to you.
I've already got you on board, and you're just a battery, bro. You know.
And I've accepted it at that.
And what else can you do? Oh,
yeah.
man, wow.
Well, you bring up 2 points that I've been thinking about. One is my very real life corporate job promotion that I'm sure we'd all love to hear about. The other one is this wacky fucking dream that I had this past week. Which one would you like to hear about?
Tell us about your dream, dude, because I'm really curious. I'm sure everybody would love to hear about your promotion. We can definitely talk about that if you feel an inkling to do so, but I'm curious. Real curious.
I'll give you the long and short.
The long and short.
Yeah, I don't. That's a phrase that I
just
say
give me the
sometimes.
Long, dude. I don't want the short. Just give me the long, bro.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you the long.
Unless it's too long, in which case maybe shorten it a bit. Maybe like a medium, dude. Do you have a medium?
No,
like a extra medium. Anything like that.
2 sizes.
Okay. 2 sizes. Long, small. Okay.
Long it is.
Short. Long. Yeah, long, dude.
So, you've seen the movie Inception, right?
Yeah.
Kind of what we're talking about with the purgatory dream inside of a hell dream thing.
Yep.
So I'd actually never seen the movie Inception until very recently. But this was like a big movie back when I was like in fucking middle school, I think. It was like 2000. It was like 2011, maybe somewhere in that time frame, maybe even earlier. And I just never saw it. Everybody fucking talked about it. A lot of people saw it. I never saw it. It was like Leonardo. It was like Leonardo DiCaprio's like one of his first, post Titanic, but one of his first like big movies. I think. Don't quote me on that. But
there's a lot of Leo DiCaprio fans that are fucking just.
Yeah, they're screaming at me right now. That's fine. It goes Titanic, Inception, Django. That's
yeah, okay.
That's how his career went in my mind.
Fitting.
But so one of the concepts of Inception is the dream within the dream. So, and I mean, and the fact that like every time that you're dreaming, you don't really know how you got there. You just kind of start off in the middle of a dream, and then if you go to sleep within your dream, you're in a deeper level of your dream. So, dude, that's what kind of happened to me. And, like, it was fucking odd, man. Like, I really didn't enjoy it. In the sense of, man, I think this was after that day I was telling you about when it was a Wednesday. So it was like fucking drink all day. Or like go to work, after work, drink, eat, drink, trivia, home. And like I don't think I had any water in that time, so God knows what my brain was fucking looking like in there. It wasn't juicy.
Big mush, dude.
I'll tell you that. I don't think it was a juicy brain this particular evening. And went to sleep, can't remember much about the dream. As far as like details I was in, but at some point I realized that I was in fact dreaming. And like I felt like shit already because like, you know, obviously I'm dehydrated, not sleeping very well. And like even in my dream I don't feel well. And I'm like but I'm dreaming. And at some point I realized that I'm dreaming. And I'm like, oh fuck, okay. I want some water. Like real Jonah wants some water. And I know that I can't get that in dream space. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to wake up. And like, I kept just trying to wake up and nothing was happening. And it was like pretty frustrating, dude. And then at some point it got it got me like really anxious and like scary. Cause I was like, fuck, I just want to wake up. And I remember getting pretty upset in my dream. And then I wake up and I'm like walking and I'm like, oh, okay, great. And I'm like walking around my room. And then I noticed like, it's like fuzzy. Like the reality is fuzzy. And I'm like, ah, fuck, I'm not awake. I'm still dreaming. And then I repeated the process of like, okay, fuck, how do I wake up? And now I'm even more fucking like anxious and like, okay, like stay calm, but like, what the fuck? I've stopped dreaming now. And then I did it again, dude. Same thing. I was like, oh fuck, woke up. Can't like reach for my phone and like can't quite like grab it, or it's like it's not there. If it's fuzz, the whole reality is kind of fuzzy, and I'm like, fuck, I'm still dreaming. And by this point, I am enraged, mad, like in my dream because I haven't been able to wake up this entire fucking time. So this is not it happened. I don't know.
You're on your third level now. Yeah, you're on.
Yeah. I was on my third layer of dream, and then I finally woke up, and fucking, I actually woke up and like went and got some fucking water, and I was like, that was weird. That was fucking weird. But yeah, it was super stressful, dude. And I remember being like, by the third layer, I was like screaming in my dream. Wow. Just trying to wake up.
Yeah. That's really bizarre. And you know, you could even say like, how do you know that you're not still dreaming, right? Because it's not fuzzy. But I mean, perhaps maybe this dream just isn't fuzzy, you know? Like and that's what like when you have paranoid bipolar schizophrenia, stuff like that, diseases like that, reality feels fuzzy, right? And then what you're seeing and hearing feels more real than what you see on a day-to-day basis. And you know, that's actually interesting too. That's a common thing that they talk about in like out-of-body experiences, or when you have near-death experiences, or you're even some like what is it? It's like they call them screen memories for people that are abducted by aliens or believe they're abducted by aliens. And the screen memories, even some people have said like, you know, it feels more real than real. Right? That same thing. It feels more real than real. No, what is it? The near-death experiences, people they say that a lot when they're in that space where like in between like life and death, and they're like just on the cusp, or like even when their bodies have died, and you know, and doctors are sitting there like, what the fuck, they're dead, you know, oh shit, and they're having these experiences before they're brought back, and even they say it feels more real than real. It's odd.
God damn, dude. I mean for me it was literally like a, you know, maybe like a 15-minute dream, and it was maddening, dude. Absolutely like Mad Hatter type, like kooky. So I couldn't imagine, dude, if I was dealing with that on the reg, and like I didn't know what was real and what wasn't. Like, of course you'd be fucking nuts.
Yeah, you go crazy.
You'd be screaming. You'd be screaming all the time, just trying to figure out what's what.
That's exactly right. And then you think about the idea of ultraviolet light, right? And the fact, like, everything that we see is based off of a light spectrum that we can perceive. And that if we were able to perceive more light spectrums, then everything would look completely different, right? And so what we're actually seeing right now isn't even necessarily real. This is just what we're experiencing because of the biology of our eye, right? And the development of our brains. And eye cones. I don't know what they're called. Eye cones. Cones in your eye, not for ice cream.
Yeah.
Cones.
Rods and cones.
Rods and cones. You've got a certain amount of rods and cones, and so you can see this light. Whereas, like, the the pistol whip shrimp or the pistol shrimp, it can see like twice as many spectrum of color than we can, or something like that. And that's part of how they navigate the depths of the ocean, because they're like on the fucking bottom of the ocean, bro. And so I mean, if you really think about it, everything that we see around us isn't necessarily what it looks like in reality, and we can't even begin to try to imagine what it actually looks like. You know what I mean? Like, if you could see the entire spectrum of colors, but then also you could see in the fourth dimension too, you'd be able to see through everything, right? This is the argument I've heard about the fourth dimension, is because so there's this interesting kid I saw a video of.
Hold on. Before you get too far off there, after this, let's watch like some kind of video on like deep ocean shit, because there's some scary fucking shit down there, and like wickedly different and alien-esque. And yes, I realized that I never really fucking paid much attention to it because I don't live there. But let's get high and look at that.
Well, dude, there's some amazing sea life down there, and there's some really interesting biological reasons that everything gets big down there, right? Like, you've got like your giant squids and stuff. They only reside in the depths of the ocean, yeah, and then people don't see them very often. And you know, it's crazy, like fucking like you think about old maps, right? Old maps, and they found maps that predate, you know, like they show continents that exist today but weren't discovered by people at that point yet. And they've got like all these creatures on the maps. They're like, everybody thought, oh, those aren't real, there's no way that those are just a myth, they can't be. But then you've got like these giant squids, these giant different types of whales that have been hunted to extinction now over the years, and all this stuff. It's really weird stuff going on underneath our oceans, man. I mean, thermal vents, dude, that is where the building blocks of life, as far as we know, came from, right? That was how you had your single-celled organisms start to thrive, was on these subthermal vents underneath the ocean. And like, it created microbiomes, and and this is all if you believe in that, obviously, but you know, the concept is that like the vents created the heat and the right environment for single cell organisms to start to develop, and then from there they slowly evolved into, you know, multicellular organisms and so on and so forth. But those vents are still down there, right?
What else are they cooking up?
Well, that's right. And I was reading an article, probably, man, this is probably like 4 years ago now, about I can't remember. I think it was one there was a subthermal vent underneath, in the Pacific Ocean someplace, and because everything that we know about life-wise is carbon-based, right? Carbon-based life forms. That's what we are. That's everything, right? But they found life forms next to these subthermal vents that are silicone-based, but are also alive in the same way that, you know, single-cell carbon-based life forms are, right? So there's single-celled silicone-based life forms, which
can you imagine
changes the way we understand life.
Can you imagine like those little microbes or organisms evolve in their own right, and then before you know it, like we're going to war with the condom people. They're just fucking just fucking rubber men.
Flapping around, yeah, dude.
I know. There has to be some disadvantages to being a condom person. I imagine that I would exploit for war purposes, of course, because that's the human way, baby.
You'd probably be virtually indestructible, really. You just split off into smaller versions of yourself, right? If you were some kind of silicone-based life form, like a condom man. Depends on your biology, I suppose. I don't know. I've never met a condom man before.
I don't know. I'd bet they'd shit whip us, dude. Easy peasy. And what's worse is we'd start it, you know? We definitely start it.
Oh, yeah, dude. We argue about everything, bro. We literally argue about everything, man. We argue about whether a thing is a rock or a boulder. We argue about toilet seats, which I'm really curious to hear about, by the way. We argue about literally everything, dude. So, but I am like, what I think this toilet seat debate you're about to tell me is whether it's supposed to be up or down, right? Whether men leave it up or down, or is it more complex than that?
No, you have the parameters of the discussion seemingly well in mind, but I'll explain to you the situations in my life that have formed my thought about it the way it is and to date. And then I'm curious to hear your opinion.
Okay.
But gotta get drunk first.
Hey, cheers. Tequila's
Cheers,
sunrise
brother.
minus the sunrise.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you actually just having... Was it orange juice tequila?
No, it's tequila and breakfast juice. Country
Breakfast
Orchard breakfast juice. This is not a paid advertisement.
What the fuck is in... I feel like you've told me this before. What is breakfast juice, dude? Is it just like ground up maple syrup and sausage and...
It's got orange, apple, pineapple, and passion fruit and mango.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like breakfast, dude. Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, nom, nom,
No,
nom.
it tastes
All right.
really nice, man. It's a it's a good balance between sweet and a little bit sour, like tart, but not too much of either. Good, man. It's good juice. It goes really nice with tequila, man.
I've never even seen
really nice.
breakfast juice on a shelf here to be available for purchase.
She's around. You just gotta find her.
All right, yeah.
Or
I'll go looking for her.
you do the white collar thing and you go and get all the different types of fruits that would go into a breakfast juice and then make it yourself.
That's not what white collar means. White collar doesn't mean no. White collar means is just getting on fucking Australia Walmart and ordering
Wrong.
it and having it shipped across internationally.
Wrong, dude. No. That's small thinking people's type of way of doing things, right? No. If you're true white collar, you're an ideas guy, I imagine anyway. And that means you go and you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking spend my hard-earned cash helping some fake corporation that doesn't exist in that country make money off of my back. No.
So I'm gonna buy 10 different juices made by immigrants?
No, I'm gonna buy 10 different types of fruit and a really expensive juicer, and I'm gonna make it myself and implement that into my 6-hour morning wellness routine.
Fuck. I'm not gonna lie, dude. That sounds pretty nice.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah. This whole back to my promotion thing briefly. It is weird now that because like with this promotion, essentially it brings a lot more money into my life, like more money than I've ever made, which is rad, and I feel very good about that. But also, it pretty firmly cements me in the white collar workforce to the point where, hey, this is honestly, this job is harder than my day job. So I'm like, I make a lot of money doing work. Certainly, like I'm using my brain to accomplish tasks, but my body is gonna turn into a doughboy real quick if I don't start fucking working out again. But that's something that, like, even if the, like, take my family for example. Like, a lot of them don't have blue collar, like, slinging hay type fucking jobs, but still not, like, posh living at all. You know, it's like, oh, you work as a secretary somewhere, or you work at a bank processing fucking something for something. But, like, I feel like now it's like, okay, this is, like, I'm on, like, a different level all of a sudden that I'm not used to, and I'm curious to see where it leads. It kind of feels like a bit of a cheat code for life, because I'm used to the you know, hey, fucking keep working hard, slay, break your back type work in order to make money, and the fucking harder you work, the more money you make. And that's the mentality that I always had and grew up around. And now I'm in, like, this whole nother echelon of thought as far as how to make money. And it's weird.
Yeah, it's a total shift, like a mental shift. I don't think of it like a cheat code, though. Not at all, man. I think of it as a great opportunity to break a cycle that you've been a part of for generations, probably. You know, not everybody gets that opportunity to do that, and so I think that legitimately the best thing you can do is to take hold of that opportunity and keep just riding with it as far as you can, and then use the resources that you've made from that to change the world around you for the better in whatever way that you see fit. You know, I mean, and that's different for everybody, but you know, like, it's kind of cliche to say, like, oh, you know, don't forget where you come from, and it's like, man, so you want to, because, like, that place sucked. Yeah, that place sucked ass.
A lot of shit was pretty balls about that.
A lot of shit was pretty balls, but there's a lot of good people that come, you know, from those backgrounds, yourself included, and not all of them get that opportunity. And so I think once you've made that, you know, like, oh yeah, I fucking made it, dude. Once you make it,
I know.
then you gotta prop people up. But you know what I mean? Like, it is awesome. It's amazing what you've done and what you've been able to accomplish in just the last 2 years, not even, of you know, work. I mean, what, you've only worked there for a year now? Not even a year.
Not even about 7 months. And I mean, it's essentially software sales is what I'm doing. Yeah. So, like, it's taxing in its own way, but, like, I don't work as hard as, like, a farmer, you know. No. Like, I don't work as hard as, like, fucking you, dude. Like actually exerting physical energy, like at your job, dealing with shit, safety concerns. Like, I don't. The biggest safety concern I have to worry about is like if I had too many pre-made cappuccinos from the machine and then I accidentally poop myself at my desk, you know, which is a concern. Hey, something to watch out for, but yeah, you're right. I think this is one of the first times. No, this is probably the first time in my life that I've set myself up to have an abundance of resources, more than I need necessarily.
Yeah. Which
is good, considering, you know, like Janie and I are, you know, talking about starting a family, which takes many mucho resources.
A lot of resources.
But it's definitely like, okay, like all of a sudden I kind of feel more secure than I think I ever have experienced, even as a kid. Like, I still felt the like the financial burden of like my mom trying to like keep the fucking lights on type shit. Like you know, she didn't go over the fucking budget with me. Well, one, because there wasn't a budget, but two, like she didn't like outwardly project that. She was just more like, nah, no, can't swing that one. Or like whenever we did splurge on a big purchase or like a vacation or something, it was very much with like a half-hearted like, yep, that's credit card, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so I think it's just like now I'm at the first one of the first points in my life now where like I don't have a lot of debt, and that's honestly my first step to allocate my resources is to dealing with a little bit of debt that I do have, and that's just like paying off my truck essentially, because like college GI Bill, which that one is a fucking cheat code. And then I've been so terrified of credit cards.
I guess.
Well, yeah, unless you don't use it, Mican. Goddamn.
I use mine.
But you didn't use all of it.
Anyway, yeah, no, I got
whatever.
I digress. But yeah, continue. Yeah.
And then I was so terrified of credit card debt growing up that I just never fucking let myself go over like $500 on my credit card. So, yeah. No, and I don't have a house yet, but that's coming up.
Oh yeah. You'll get a house soon, dude, I reckon.
Yeah.
How do you think when you and Janie have kids, like you're going to, how do you think it's going to be different when you're raising kids? Because you're going to have a bit more money put away. You're a bit smart with your money, and you're careful with how you allocate those resources into what. How do you think it's going to be different?
Well, and we have, I mean, just to be like blunt about it, like Janie's family has money as well, so it's not like we're going hungry ever, kind of thing. It like even if the worst should happen, like there's always a security blanket there, which is incredible, and like a feeling that I definitely didn't grow up with, and I think that's what I want to do for my kid, at least, is like let them know the value of $1, but also like, hey, so to the best of my fucking ability, I'm gonna take care of you, you know?
Yeah.
Money wise. Sorry, what was your question exactly? I feel like I missed it.
Well, how do you think raising how are you gonna raise your kids different? Do you think
than how I was raised in the context of money?
Yeah, in the context of money, like, are you gonna be doing like lots of big things for them and buying them stuff? Or are you going to opt to give them less?
Yeah, I struggle with that. I don't think that I'd give them less, because what's the fucking point of you need to have it hard? You don't need to have it like you don't need to go through like shitty times or anxiety about money in order to realize its importance. It's just a different trap that you have to find your way out of.
Yeah.
But that being said, dude, I don't know. Like I've thought about it as far as like a college fund. Am I like, hey, how about you join the fucking military and have them pay for college like it did me, as opposed to like, hey, here's your college paid for on a silver platter kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't. Janie's definitely of the mindset of like, hey, we're paying for our kids' college. What do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, join the military, figure it out. Yeah, do it that way.
Go mop the rain, bro. Figure that shit out.
I mean, I think there's just something to I mean, and you and I both know this, rich kids typically don't fucking join the military.
No.
It's not the fucking politician's son that goes off to war, you know? It's everybody else. So
we're poor,
like,
dude. That's just the way it is.
That's the poor go to war.
Poor go to war, bro.
And that's definitely the way that I thought about it. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of fucked up when you look at it that way. But also, I was poor, and I looked at it as an opportunity to fucking go to college without any fucking debt. And that's exactly what I did. So, dude, I learned a lot of good shit in the military. I learned that set me up for definitely my life on a trajectory of where it is today. I learned a lot of bad shit, I think, in the military too. But I don't know if there's a substitute for the amount of like exposure to culture, diversity, struggle,
togetherness, like legitimate teamwork. It's
not
even
camaraderie,
about, like, the team
community
building exercise, dude. It's the fact that you're all stuck there together and it sucks ass. You really learn a lot about people and yourself when you're just hating your life in the field, getting pissed on all day, just rain all the time, in the mud, fucking getting yelled at by people that get to sit in the tent and telling you would go work in the fucking mud and get shitty. You know, like, you learn a lot about yourself and other people when that happens. And you know, the barracks is the same. You learn a lot about the human condition when you're drinking and being surrounded by other drunk assholes that all have, 20 odd years, 18 to 27 years of fucking experiences and trauma and relationships and shit going on. And then Japan,
conflict resolution skills, how they relax, how they choose to spend their time. Yeah,
man, dude, it's fucking very complicated. And
the big one for me that I learned from the military, two things. One was, it's all about who you know, who thinks you're cool. I've probably said this in the podcast before, and I'll fucking say it again. I am fucking convinced that basic principle of who you know, who thinks you're cool, is such an ingrained thing into the human condition that success breeds from it, as far as promotions and moving up, different things, getting certain opportunities, really is what it is. If you don't know anybody and nobody thinks you're cool, you're not going to get opportunities. If people think you're cool but you don't know anybody, you're not going to get opportunities. If you know people but people don't think you're cool, you're not going to get opportunities. You need to know people, and they have to think you're cool. The other one was leadership. As far as you and I have seen every fucking different kind of leader, good, bad, ugly, poor or otherwise, in such a short time span.
Yeah.
And we got it, and at the time it was so fucking shitty, dude. When you had a bad corporal, or just somebody that sucked, it made your life so fucking miserable. But you were like, don't be like that guy, Don't be like that fucking dude. So whenever you got in that position, you could do well. Also, you saw the people that you wanted to emulate, that were in people ranks or positions above you, and you're like, be like that fucking dude. So I think,
dude, I want to be like that cunt right there. That cunt listens. Yeah. He's receptive. He also treats us like shit because we're dumb, but we respect him because he has our backs when we know we need him. Stuff like that. Met a lot of leaders like that. Met a lot of leaders the opposite of that.
Yeah. So again, and I'm like, what do I do? with this youth that I probably most likely have the ability to pay for college at some point or another.
Yeah.
Ideally, if I'm making the kind of, financial security money. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
Sorry, lighting's got
your lighting's so bad.
I know, dude. It's not great.
Try the blinds behind you.
All right. I am listening though. Continue.
Okay. I was saying, oh my god. He ordered a mic stand, ladies and gentlemen, not that clamps onto your desk. What a monster. But
retard.
Yeah, what a tard. But I don't know, dude. I struggle with the concept of do I want to give my kid a fucking, I don't know, what is it, like 60 grand? It's probably going to be more by the time they're ready to go to school for college, or be like, hey, go join the military, man.
Yeah.
You know what? It's probably gonna make a difference if it's a man or a boy or a girl.
You're gonna
honestly, it'll make a difference. If it's a girl, I'd be like, I will pay for every fucking thing. No sweat. Don't worry about it.
You're having 3 girls, and you might get a boy at the last one if you go that far. But you're definitely gonna have 3 girls.
Sounds about right.
Just how I see it, dude. It's what's gonna happen. Sorry, hominus dominus.
The fuck was
Sorry,
that?
I got a little bit off. What the fuck was that? Did you hear a noise?
Yeah, I heard it. I think it's my people above me. These motherfuckers, dude. I gotta buy a house.
Damn it.
I gotta buy a house.
You gotta buy a house. Speaking of weird noises, I got something really interesting to tell you about my meditation in the park today. But I want to hear about your toilet debate first. We got way sidetracked off that.
Yeah. We did get a bit sidetracked off that. Here's the thing. I have to piss, and we're already about an hour. So you want to move? Yeah. Tell me about your park meditation, and we'll take the debate to the Brorch. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Go piss.
Okay.
Go piss. We'll come back.
Go right there, Chief.
I had a drink of coffee, and it just fucking, I don't know, it like backsplashed off my tonsils. And fucking half of it shot up into my nose, and the other half of it shot down into my lungs. And then I fucking was like half puking, half fucking coughing, like trying not to die. Just, fuck, what the fuck was that? Oh man, my God. That is some horse shit.
Yeah. Oof. Terrible podcasting. Are you okay though?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fine, dude. Yeah.
Dude, you need a little bit of squirt and tequila.
No, thanks. No. I'll have some tequila and breakfast juice. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about my park meditation, right? So so when we did the podcast with Maggie, she sent us this Shivarasa meditation, right? It's this breathing exercise where you basically hyperventilate yourself for 30 seconds, and then you hold your breath for 90 seconds, and then you inhale and hold that for 15
I
seconds.
never did this, by the way. I told Mike and I was going to, and he told me to do it, and I never did it. But he's been doing it semi-consistently from what I understand. And it's a bit of a trip.
It's weird, man. I do it I skip one day a week, usually Saturday or Catterday. And then Sunday's always really weird for me, man. It really is, because I missed a day, and then also I'm fucking just reeling from like the alcohol and tobacco from the day before, from Saturday, you know, as I do. Because when we get on ARC, man, we fucking just suck down craft beer, fucking smoke heaps, and fucking punch some wood to get tree, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this morning I woke up, and me and Kierley were up until probably like 12:30, man. It was late night for us. Kira Lee had a nap. I didn't. I stayed up and I watched Midnight Gospel, pretty much the whole thing straight through. Which, if anybody hasn't seen it, I recommend watching. It's really good. It's Duncan Trussell. He did a show with the guys that made Adventure Time, so it's really interesting animation. Good stuff they talk about. A lot of psychedelic stuff, meditation, and things like that. Anyway, so this morning I felt a bit like shit. I set my alarm for 3:45, and I set another alarm for 4 o'clock just in case, I didn't wake up for my first one. My alarm goes off at 3:45, and my eyes open. I'm like, that's a big old fucking nope, dude. That's 3 hours, 45 minutes of sleep. That's not enough. I was like, no. Boop. Off, dude.
So you're
not
like,
sleep.
yeah, I'll snooze it for another hour?
Nah, dude. I turned that shit off, dude. I turned it off. And then my alarm went off at 4, so 15 minutes later. And I was like,
that's not better.
No, I'm not happening, dude. And so I half sleepingly made my way onto my phone and changed the alarm to what I thought was 5, right? And then I hear my alarm go off and I wake up, and it was a dream, actually. It's funny, we were talking about it earlier. It was a dream. I thought I heard my alarm going off, which is just it just vibrates on the bed, just zzz, 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 And sorry, my throat's still a little bit fucked.
Have some breakfast juice.
Oh yeah, sorry. Tequila and breakfast juice. Country Orchard breakfast juice. This is not a paid advertisement. So I wake up, no alarm. Look at my phone. It's 5 o'clock. I look at the alarms that I'd set, and it was set to like 10 o'clock. So I might have accidentally just slept until 10 o'clock almost, dude. It was like, that's probably what would have happened. Because the cat, dude, she was not trying to wake us up for food, man. She'd been up until 12 as well with us, and fucking I don't even know what she was doing like when we went to bed, but she wasn't on the bed when we fell asleep. She wasn't on the bed when we woke up, so she was not going to pester us. So we could have slept until 9, 10 o'clock, which it's 9 o'clock now, right? I might not have woken up until right now, which would have been
you were already a little later than usual for the podcast today. I was a little. I was like, oh, did he sleep in to 7 o'clock today?
No. So usually when I'm on my walk, I either do quite a bit of exercise or I'll give you a call. And today I did neither of those things. So I didn't do a lot of exercise. I was feeling pretty, like, just, I don't know, tired, run down. I hurt my wrist at work as well. So that was just, I haven't been doing a lot of kettlebells this week.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the wrist thing, but go on.
Well, so on my walk, I didn't even have music in or anything. I was just walking. It was dark out. The sun was starting to come up. It was beautiful. It was just a beautiful morning, nice and cool, a little bit balmy, And I was like, fuck it. Normally I do my meditation, breathing exercises and stuff in the office. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna. There's a little park down the street from us, so I'll just go sit on one of the park benches there and do it. And it's still dark when I rock up there, and I'm like, not too dark. It's like twilight, not twilight. What is it?
Dusk.
Early morning, dusk. No, I think it is twilight, right? Dusk is the afternoon, twilight's the morning. Oh. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
dawn.
Dawn, like the soap dude. Anyway, so I'm sitting on this park bench, and dude, there's just birds everywhere. Australia's got so many fucking birds constantly fucking around, fucking chirp chirp, fucking cook 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 cook, just fucking ridiculous birds. It is obnoxious. Like, that was one of the things that my mom said when she came and visited. She's like, oh, the jet lag wasn't too bad, but I didn't realize we'd be woken up by birds at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, well, that's birds for you, dude. They just love life, man. Birds know what's up, dude. They got it figured out. So I sit down and I open the breathing exercise on YouTube, And I'm sitting there listening, and I do the breathing exercises. I have to reposition myself a little bit. So like the breathing part is like hard, but it's not too hard. I still manage to hold the breaths for the amount of time. No worries. And that last exhale, I let it out. And then I went to my normal breathing, and like this is the meditative part where you just sit and you breathe nice and slow and deep for 10 minutes, just meditating like normal, do mindfulness stuff or whatever it is you do when you meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like this stick cracking, right? Like you hear a stick snap, like a twig snap underneath something's foot, right? Yeah, I'm like, the fuck? So I like open my eyes and I turn around and there was nothing there. And I'm like, all right, no worries. And so I continue my meditation. And I mean, like, there's like a light noise coming from my phone, like the meditation noise, you know, like whatever, right? But it's real quiet because obviously I don't want to be blasting this shit on YouTube at fucking 5:10 in the morning and just fucking
sitting on a park bench
in
the dusk.
Around houses and at fucking dawn, fucking anyway. So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there in silence, and I'm on a park bench. I'm not sitting like weird or anything. I'm just sitting there with my bag next to my foot, and then I hear another twig snap, dude, and I'm like, there's nothing there, dude. There's no fucking way, bro. And then, dude, and like my mind, my eyes are closed, and I'm like in this meditative state. Like I've just gone through this hyperventilation, fucking holding like oxygen deprivation cycle, right? And my mind is just like in this weird, inflated but like empty, calm, but hyper aware state, right? And I'm like, it's a little bit strange because when you meditate normally, you usually meditate in like a spot, the same spot or a similar spot, right? Somewhere where you're comfortable and relaxed. You don't normally meditate in the middle of, safe place. You don't meditate in like a random spot in a fucking park early in the morning that you've never really been, to, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm sitting there and like, my head's, and I'm just feeling like weird and like hyper alert, and like I could just, it's not out of body, but I can almost sense, it's like Spider-Man. I can almost sense the things around me as I'm just sitting there, right? And then there's this fucking loud crash of a fucking branch being smashed against a fucking tree, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then again and again, dude. And it's like shit getting pulled around and thrown and crashed against trees, dude. I'm like, what the shit is that? And I open my eyes and I turn around. And I will tell you guys the last bit of that on the Brorch. All right. So if you guys want to know what it is that was fucking banging around in my park at fucking 5:10 in the morning, come on over, sign on to the Brorch. It's $8 a month. You get 4 extra episodes a month. That's 1 extra episode a week. Plus we do, we put all our extra bits up there as well. So our solo Brorches and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm
glad
out. That I get to, I mean, you really left me hanging more than anybody here. And I'm glad that I get to be a part of the next conversation just to hear the conclusion of this.
And also, we're going to talk about Jonah's toilet debate, which we're all really keen on hearing. So come join us for that. One thing I did want to say before we get off. So I've been looking at the YouTube stats. And there's a couple different things. So it's got all the comments. Gunny, I have seen your comment. And I've read it, and it's and to be honest with you, I haven't responded yet because I haven't thought of a good enough response. I just want to read a little bit about Calvinism and some of the things that you mentioned in there, and make sure I have a complete grasp on what it is we're talking about before I respond, because I don't want you to call me something mean. And I love you. Also, there's this fucking really cool thing on YouTube where videos, like, you'll pop up in people's recommended videos, right? And so if anybody's been watching our YouTube, when I first started putting the full episodes up, it was just episode 67, episode 66. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing that. I've got titles for them on Spotify, so I'll just add them. So I went through and added them all. and now we just get we get recommended by some weird ass fucking shit dude. There's a dude that does fucking tarot readings for the entire, like, for one star sign for an entire month. There's a dude that fucking I'm pretty sure might be a little bit communist, but has some really good points about shoplifting. There's a guy who's decoding the Bible. There's a couple of Aussie teenagers that do fucking podcasts from trees and cane fields, which is really interesting. And just a
dude, I think that honestly, that's right up our, like, that's the same lane that we occupy, dude. These 100%. People aren't far off from the Weasel experience.
No, dude, and this is how we make our community. Maybe this is purgatory, and maybe this is the revolution, right? And maybe this is what our revolution is.
God damn, I can't wait to like front strangle somebody, dude.
Yeah, but any other dude, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. With that,
thanks for joining me
I love
today,
you,
bro. I love you, dude. I appreciate you so much, and we appreciate all of you guys as well. Come to the Brorch, buddy. It's gonna be fun today. I love you.
Come to the Brorch. Goodbye.